Today, we're gonna read If I Ran the Zoo. And on the cover, you see we have this strange animal. What even is that thing? I don't know. Well, anyway, let's just start reading. If I Ran the Zoo by Dr. Seuss. And here we have some very strange animals. This bird flying with these weird stringy things, and this deer with very big antlers, and this very big bunny with a mustache. Ew, why would a bunny have a mustache? And this giraffe-like thing with wavy things. I don't know what those are called. And a monkey with hair. And another deer with twisty antlers, but smaller antlers. And well, this just looks like a regular bird. And this one says McGrew's Zoo. Who's McGrew? If I Ran the Zoo by Dr. Seuss. It's a pretty good zoo, said young Gerald McGrew, and the fellows who run it. And the fellow who runs it seems proud of it too. But if I ran the zoo, said young Gerald McGrew, I'd make a few changes. That's just what I'd do. The lions and tigers and that kind of stuff they have up here now are not quite good enough. You see things like these in just any old zoo. They're awfully old-fashioned. I want something new. What could possibly be new that they don't have? And that's not dangerous. So I'd open each cage, I'd unlock every pen, let the animals go and start over again. That'd be kind of dangerous. Somehow or another, I think I could find some beasts of much more unusual kind. And how is he to do that? I dare not ask. A 4-footed lion is not much of a beast. The one in my zoo will have 10 feet at least. What? How? A lion with 10 feet. 5 legs on the left and 5 more on the right. Then people will stare and they'll say, "What a sight!" The zookeeper and newkeeper Gerald's quite funny. The goldenest lion I have ever seen. The goldenest lion I ever have seen. My new zoo, McGrew Zoo, will make people talk. My new McGrew Zoo will make people gawk at the strange old creatures that ever did walk, and get for my zoo a new sort of hen. The hen who roosts in another hen top knot, and then another one roosts in the top knot of his, and another in his, and another in his. So forth and upwards and onwards. Gee whiz! Oh my gosh! It's like the Great Eiffel Tower, but birds. The Great Birdful Tower? I guess we'll find a name for it somehow. But that's just a start. I'll do better than that. They'll see me next day in my zookeeper hat, coming into my zoo with an elephant cat. A what? A what? That looks like a giraffe, but with an elephant head. They'll be so surprised they'll swallow their gum. They'll ask when they see my strange animal come, where do you suppose he gets things he gets from that from? His animals just all such a very odd faces. I bet you must hunt them in rather odd places. And that's what I'll do, said young Gerald McGrew. You want to Castle Beach you don't see every day. You have to go places quite out of the way. You have to go places no other can get to. To get cold and you have to get wet too. Up past North Pole, where the frozen winds squeal. I'll go and I'll hunt in my skeetle-mobile and bring back a family of what do you know? Of what? What? That's a family of what do you know? Why would they name it a family of what do you know? That's how my new McGrew Zoo will grow. I'll hunt in the mountains of Zomba Matant, with helpers who all wear their eyes at a slant and capture a fine fluffy bird called the buzzard. The bustard, who only eats who only eats custard with sauce made of mustard, and also a very fine beast called the flustard, who only eats mustard with sauce made of custard. I'll catch him in caves, I'll catch him in brooks, catch them in crannies, I'll catch him in nooks. Then that you don't read about in geography books. Catch them in countries that no one can spell, like the country of Mutterfapel. In a country like that, if a hunter is clever, he'll hunt up some beast that you never saw ever. What's he gonna bring next? I'll load up 5 boats with plenty of goats. I have no idea what those are supposed to be. Whose feet are like cows, but wear squirrel skin coats. So they have cow's feet and squirrel skin, but sit down like dogs, but have the voice of a goat, expecting they can't sing the very high notes. Oh, wow, really weird. Then I'll go down to the wilds of Nantucket. Then I'll go down to the wild of Nantucket. Then I'll go down to the wild of Nantucket. Then I'll go down to the wilds of Nantucket and capture a family of lunks in a bucket. Then people will say, now I like that boy heaps. His new McGrew Zoo is growing by leaps. He catches them wild, and he catches them meek. He catches them slim, and he catches them sleek. What do you suppose he'll capture next week? I'll capture one tiny, I'll capture one cute. I'll capture a deer that no hunter would shoot. A deer that's so nice he could sleep in your bed if it weren't for those horns he had, on his head. Aww, so cute. And speaking of horns, that's just a bit queer. I'll bring back a very odd family of deer. A father, a mother, two sisters and a brother, whose horns are connected from one to another. Horns are so mixed you can't tell them apart. Can't tell where they end and can't tell where they start. Each deer is mighty puzzled. He's never yet found if his horns are hers or the other way round. That's kind of like the internet. That looks like the internet, but horny internet. I'll capture them fast, I'll capture them scrawny, I'll capture a scragglefoot mulligata warning. I'll capture a scragglefoot mulligata Winnie. A high-stepped animal as fast as the wind from the blistering sands of the desert of Zund. This beast is the beast with the brave chieftain, with the brave chieftain ride, where they want to go fast to find some place to hide. A Mulligatawny is fine for my zoo, and so is a chieftain. I'll bring one. So is a chieftain. I'll bring one back too. At far western part of southeast North Dakota lives a very fine animal called the eota. But I'll capture one who's even much finer in the northeastern west part of South Carolina. When people see him, they'll be like, "Now by thunder, this new groom, the Zoo McGrew Zoo is really a wonder." Some beasts are quite friendly, but still in some lands, some beasts are too dangerous to capture with bare hands. For those that are ugly and vicious and mean, I'll build a bad animal catching machine. It's rather expensive to build such a kit, but with it a hunter can never get bit. A zoo should have bugs, so I'll capture a furwhirl. A zoo should have bugs, so I'll capture a furwhirl whose legs are snarled up in a terrible snarl. Then I'll go out and capture some chugs, some keen shooter, mean shooter, bean shooter bugs. Pew 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 pew. I'll go to the African island of Yurka. There's no African island called Yurka. And bring back a tufted mazurka, a kind of canary with quite a tall throat. His neck is so long if he swallows an oat for breakfast the first day of April, they'll say it has to go down such a very long way that it gets to his stomach the 15th of May. What? I'll bag a big bug who's very surprising, a fella who has a propeller for rising and zooming across, making crunchy hops from Texas to Boston with only 2 stops. Now that sort of thing for a bug is just tops. And when I've caught him, the next thing you know, I'll capture a wild tic-tac-toe with X's that win and with zeros that lose. You look mighty good in the zoo of McGrews. I'll bring back a gusset, a gherkin, a gasket, and also a gooch from the wilds of Nantasket, and 8 Persian princes will carry the basket. For what their names are, I don't know, so don't ask it. In the cave of Khartoum lives a beast called the Gnat that no other hunter's been able to catch. He's hidden for years in a cave with a pout. And I'll coax him out with a wonderful meal that's cooked with my cooks in my cookmobile. He'll fix up a dish that is just to his taste. 3 chicken crochets made of library paste that's sprinkled with peanut shucks pickled and spiced, then baked at 600 and then iced. It's mighty hard cooking to cook up such feast, but that's how the new Zoo McGrew Zoo gets beasts. The faraway mountains of Tobsk, near the rivers of Nobsk, I'll bring back an a sort of kind of a thingamabobs who only eats rhubarb and corn on the cobs. And people will flock into my zoo with a mobsk. McGrew, they will say, does a wonderful jobsk. He hunts with such vim and he hunts with such vigor. His new McGrew zoo gets bigger and bigger. And speaking of birds, there's the Russian Paluski, whose headski is redski, and whose belly is blueski. I'll get one of them for my Zooski McGrewski. Then the whole town will grasp why this boy never sleeps. No keeper before ever kept what he keeps. No telling what that young fella will do. And then just to show them, I'll sail to crew and bring back an itch cooch, a preep and a prue, a nurgle, a nerd, and a seersucker too. I'll hunt in the jungle of hipponohungus and bring back a flock of wild biponobungas. The biponobungas from hipponohungus are better than those in the diponodungas and smarter than those in the nippononungas. And that's why I'll catch him in hipponohungus instead of those others in nungus and dungus. And people will say when you see these bips bounding, the zookeeper simply outstanding. He'd travel so far, you'd think he would drop. When do you suppose this young fellow will stop? Stop? Well, I should, but I won't stop until I capture the Fizzamadil, the world's biggest bird from the Isle of Gwark, who only eats pine trees. Of Gwark, who only eats pine trees and spits out the bark. And boy, when I get him back onto my park, the whole world will say, young McGrew's made his mark. He's built to do better than Noah's whole ark. This wonderful, marvelous beast that he chews, which has made him the greatest of all the McGrewses. Wow, their little cheer, what this zoo must be worth is the goldest zoo on the face of the earth. Yes, that's what I'd do, said the young Gerald McGrew. Made a few changes if I ran the zoo. The end. That was a really funny book. And all those crazy animals. Anyway, don't forget to like and subscribe for more scratch, shorts, and stories. Bye!